All right, folks, I know why you're here. Listen, you all here because I'm making Southern style greens, right? And you know what? We're gonna do it the healthiest we can. And guess what, folks? We're not sacrificing no flavor. Let's get it. Okay, folks, so listen, this video right here is really about the flavor and having some good tasting, greens, and they're gonna be healthy, right? So if you guys come on down here and take a look, I have several videos that show you how I cut them, how I remove the stem, how I clean them and all of that. But these are gonna be the start right here, right? So these are our greens. So what you see over here is I already have my greens. They already been, scrubbed. What I do is I put some kosher salt in here. I take them, rub them, get them nice and clean. I do it twice, right? And then, for good measures, I like to add 2 capfuls of lemon juice. This is what you ultimately want to come up with, right? But I'm gonna do it right here on camera for you. So look right here. What I do is I just run this way. There's several ways you can do this, and then you can just break that stem off just like that, and then you want to stack them. Now I'm gonna show you one more way. You see this leaf right here? You can always fold it this way. Like I say, it's many ways you can do it. And you could just pull this up until it starts getting thin, break it off, and we got the same thing. Okay, so after you stack them, you can stack them as high as you would like, as long as your leaves are pretty much the same. This is what we're finna do. Now some of y'all gonna look at this and be like, hey, you already know how to do it. Notice how tight I like to roll these. I just roll them just like this. Keep going. It's like rolling a burrito, right? So then you just go ahead and get your knife and just cut them down. Now this part is really up to you. I like to cut them about that wide, right? So you do whatever you guys would like, you know what I mean? But I get them like this, take them, and then I stage them, right? Now, I'm not finna bore you guys. You guys done seen me do it. I got millions of views where you guys see me doing greens. So let me go ahead and finish these again. I'm gonna do all of them and then we'll move forward. Okay, so this is my last one. You guys can see, just cutting this one down. Now, let me go ahead and clean up. And then, you know what? Just speaking of the cleanup, don't forget, if you guys look over here, you guys can see that I do have hot, soapy water at all times. We must clean as we go. That keeps your kitchen clean, you know what I mean? And then when you're done, you're done. All right, so look, we're done with our greens. We got those chopped up. I got those set aside, right? So now I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna take myself about 2 tablespoons, right, of butter. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in here like that, and I'm gonna go ahead and start to melt that. Because what we wanna do is we wanna put our garlic in there, then we're gonna start, infusing everything with flavor. Okay, so what I'm doing now is we're getting ready to add our andouille, right? Now, normally I'll be using like a smoked turkey. That works too, but I want the flavor from this andouille, right? So I'm gonna cut this just like you guys see. Let me get this cut down, then I wanna show you something. Matter of fact, let me show you now. If you look at that right there, you see that? You see where it's orange? That's all of the andouille flavor. This is what we finna get with this heat. Then we're gonna add some garlic to it along with the butter. This is where we're gonna get our flavor from, folks. So let me finish cutting this down. I always like to start with my onions, first, no matter what I'm doing, right? So you see how I cut these down? This is fine right here. Then I'm gonna give this one a little bit and do it like that, right? Now, you know how they come in layers, that's gonna break all up. So what I'm gonna do is now we finna just add this to the heat, right? And we're gonna work with this right now. I brought this back out of my refrigerator so I can show you guys. I don't know if I said it before, but listen, if we're trying to cook and do everything on a more healthier, recipe, listen, this is unsalted butter. Again, the full ingredient list is on my website. That's Smokin and Grillin with AB.com, and that's WITAB.com, right? So now when you're looking inside of here, remember how I showed you that them layers were? You see how once it gets hot, it starts to saute down and break up. Now it looks like I put more onion in there. Listen, this is the flavor, folks. So the next thing we finna do is we finna load up this garlic press and we finna put some garlic in there. Pay attention and you look right here. I like to put my garlic right here on top so that it doesn't hit the heat right away, right? Until I'm done putting all of my garlic in, right? Then you take this and you just drop it in like that. Now let me finish putting that in and then we'll move on to the next. Okay, so now I put it in and now all we do is stir it around. We just let it hit the heat. It'll kick back the aromatic from it and let you know, hello, minced garlic's in here, right? Now you see everything working. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our chicken andouille. Now, when you guys look down here and here like this is what you wanna have. You can see that onion is, dissipating. All of that flavor is still in there, right? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my Creole Kick, right? You wanna add some of that to it. If you guys don't have Creole Kick, you wanna put some of your own Creole or Cajun seasoning in there, right? Thyme gives it a little bit of a unique taste. It's like a little bit of a hint. This is completely optional, but I like to have this in mine. And then for when it comes to the red chili flakes, right? I'm only gonna put in a half a teaspoon. So this is a quarter and a quarter, right? So we good there. Now, I want you to look over here. Look at this right here. This right here is gonna be our star, right? This is low sodium chicken broth. Now, this is actually lower in sodium than our 33% less. So if you're really trying to cut back, this way you can add what you need to it and keep everything on a healthy basis. So we just add this in there. Now you want to turn your fire up because you're going to want to get this to a boil, all right? Okay, so once everything comes back up to a boil, you know what I mean? What you want to do is you want to let it just for a couple minutes, right? You want to taste it and find out where you're at. Now, for those of us that don't want to have, like, they got hypertension, and things of that nature right there, and you watching your sodium, try it this way, taste it and see. But the beauty of this is we can control our salt intake by adding whatever we see, think we need, right? So I did add a pinch of this to it already, but I'm just giving you guys options. Or for some of you guys that don't want to add any sodium to it, don't add nothing to it. You're probably already used to it being this way, but all it needs is just a pinch or two of salt, and there you go. Now, you see we right here, right? Oh, and last, we got to put some pepper in here. I know we got red chili flakes, but pepper gives you a unique taste to it also. That's why just about every recipe on the planet just about has salt, and it really has that pepper, right? So we boil in here, right? Now, you want to take your greens. Let me get my greens, right? And then what we're going to do is we're just going to add these in, right? Now, greens is pretty much made of water, right? Just enough structure for it to, to form the leaf, right? But we put it in like that. We keep it at a boil. And you want to have a pot, which I should have said in the very beginning, that have a lid on it, right? So I have one that has a lid. I'll stick this on like that. We'll leave it like that and we'll let it wither down. Now, if you guys pay attention over here, I got some more greens to add to it, but as this withers down, I'm gonna put it in. It only takes about 3 to 5 minutes. You see how it withered down? Now we add the remainder. Now, once we put this in here, I'm gonna give it a stir, and then we're gonna set it to a simmer, maybe a little bit more than a simmer, and we're gonna cook these. Now, all you do is cook them to your desired, texture that you would like, right? I'm gonna say it should be in there at least 45 minutes. You know what I mean? At a low boil, simmer type of, action, right? So once I got them like this, I get them all completely coated, right? I'll put this top back on here, and then I'll see you guys in 45 minutes. All right, so listen, I want you guys to come on here and take a look at this. Now I'm finna break this away from myself, right? I did check the texture, and this is what I like. So I'm finna go in here with my fork. I'm gonna turn this off because we there. I tasted it. Look at these greens right here. If this don't remind you of what home used to look like, back home with grandmama, I don't know what will. So you see that? Look at how it wiggled right there. Okay, as you can see, listen, we didn't lose no aesthetics, right? Only thing we did was we elected to go on a, low sodium, diet, right? So those of us that got that hypertension, this right here gives you this, and we didn't sacrifice no flavor. Ooh, I gotta get one of these chicken andouille sausages. Cheers, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. You can't even really tell the difference. You know what I mean? There's some things we can do to just make them super over the top with the flavor, but this right here is what I grew up with and is good for you. Now, if you're new to my channel, let me take this time to say thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and tell everybody out there. There's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. And you know what I'm about to do, folks. I would say I was going in there to get some Kool-Aid, but not after I just made some healthy greens. I'm out, y'all. Peace.